100 Thieves have had a disastrous start to the 2022 season. I wanted to quickly look at this particular round between 100 Thieves and XSET that I think kind of demonstrates the duality of this team. In esports, there is a tendency to be very black and white about things. People see 100 Thieves losing and they assume that they are a terrible team. But what this round illustrates is actually that 100 Thieves has a very good strategic depth to the way that they approach the game. However, they have some other issues as far as execution and communication that have continued to plague them throughout the entire season so far. So as this round starts, we're going to see 100 Thieves executing what amounts to a very, very good, effective fake using exclusively utility. So as the knife goes off, we're gonna see the wall go up, and we also see a Sova recon dart flying towards the back of B site as well. In addition to those pieces of utility, there's going to be a Sova drone coming out, and all three of these things are going to draw the attention of the defenders, XSET, towards the B site. We can see this massive rotation from XSET exclusively just because 100 Thieves has done a great job of selling the fake with their utility. And now let's take a quick look at this setup. Here's the first mistake. The problem with planning it over here on this side of the pyramid is what is going to happen next. We also can note that Ethan is gathering a bunch of information because he's going to hear a bunch of players coming down through middle. He does have Hunter's Fury available. The only problem with that is he doesn't have a good angle coming in from double doors to actually defend the defuse if he is the last person alive. Now, here's where things get a little bit extra weird. Look at the post plant position for 100 Thieves. They have 4 players playing back here, and then of course Ethan lurking. So nobody is on site. And this is a huge problem because there's nobody from 100 Thieves gathering information. 100 Thieves doesn't really know where any XSET players are. They have to funnel through a choke point that can be smoked off to actually defend their post plant. And this 4-man post plant becomes extra problematic when you realize that Zekin has null command available. What we're gonna see is JC Stani is going to run down halls to try and get an angle. But Stani, you were the one who planted the spike. You don't have an angle from this direction. And we're gonna see him barely survive here. He kills cryocells, but even with that kill, he doesn't have an angle onto the spike. This spike is getting stuck right now, and there's nothing that 100 Thieves can do. It's just a little bit of a head scratcher moment because they did such a good job setting themselves up to be in this position. Ultimately, I think this round demonstrates just the chaos and sort of lack of coherence that the team has been experiencing so far in 2022. And it makes sense when we think about the various roster changes and overall difficulties that 100 Thieves has had getting their team together. So I wanted to put on my general manager's hat for a second and see if we could maybe restructure their roster a little bit and wheel and deal to create a better 100 Thieves going forward in 2022. 100 Thieves needs 3 very specific things. Number 1, they need a consistent smoke player. Nitro was arguably the best smoke player in the world. The second thing that they need, more than anything else, a jet player. And I know I say that and people are probably like, wait, Asana's the jet player. No, he's not. I think that Asana has the potential to be the best entry fragger when he's playing Raze, Reyna, Phoenix, even when he's playing Jet. But if you're playing Jet, you also need to play Op. But I don't think that he is the same player when he's opping that he is when he's rifling. If we look at these games, he's 4-0 on Jet, 7-0 on Raze. Entirely different impact. He's literally winning his team rounds so consistently when he's playing that sort of like run in first and kill people. I think they need to get a primary opper. It could be an op chamber player at this point because chamber is definitely kind of taking over the op role in a lot of cases. But I think they need to have Asana not be the primary opper. And I think that he needs to be the secondary flex duelist. I think we should take a look at some of the jets that are available. Okay, so here's the top jet players for North America over the last couple of months. Let's look at POIZ. Some of you guys might remember POIZ. Back when he was like the new face of Cloud9, he was replacing TenZ. That didn't really manifest. I feel like they could probably buy POIZ from Cloud9. Next person I wanted to point out is FIEND. FIEND kind of stood out to me as kind of a fiend. He's kind of a demon. Like he could probably use some development, but at the same time, I think he's also probably a talent that is worth taking a look at. This is the one that maybe has me the most excited because I feel like Neon's talent level is pretty phenomenal. I thought he really stood out in a lot of the AKREW games on their win streak. Has clearly demonstrated very, very good skill with the operator. I mean, look at this first death, first kill ratio. Almost double first kills to first deaths. That tells me that he's, you know, taking intelligent peeks and maybe not pushing too far. I feel like Neon would be a reasonably good fit for 100 Thieves. So if we're just looking at Sova players, if we're under the assumption that Ethan's IGLing and playing Sova, and this is also under the assumption that Hiko is playing Sentinel. God, it's so confusing, man. But if I was 100 Thieves and I was willing to kind of throw some cash around, I would definitely be looking at some of the other teams that have been knocked out. EU is a massive talent. I don't think NRG is probably going to let him go. Okay, this would be the full story. They pick up Dre, they kick Hiko, all of a sudden, justice for PUBG players. Okay, that's not going to happen. If we want to go ahead and pick up a Sentinel player, who are we looking at? Let's pull up the Cypher. I feel like if we look at Cypher players, we're going to find some talent. Cypher is a role for freaks. Door has been pretty good on BBG. Ian has been pretty good on Sonics. Calm, again. Bro, are we literally just signing AKREW? Is this what's happening? But are we just going to sign Calm and Neon and Gucci for smokes? Send Hiko to coach? I don't know what's going on. I can understand why 100 Thieves had problems trying to figure out where their roles are supposed to be. I'm definitely understanding why they had some problems.